It's over!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net.
Nice one.
Straight down the middle. So, a good performance from both teams.
Hello and welcome to Firstpost. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. On the show today, we are bringing you views from around the world of football, stories that created conversations over the weekend. Kylian Mbappe opened his scoring for Real Madrid in the LaLiga and it broke the internet. But the bigger story was not his goal or the goals that he scored. Stay on to know more. The other story from the world of football is centered around Liverpool's crushing win over Manchester United in the Premier League. The manager, Erik ten Hag, is under fire, but obstinate as always, saying he's no Harry Potter, but he's the man. But the bigger story is from the Liverpool camp. Why hasn't Mo Salah's contract been extended yet? Is he not favoured by Arne Slot, the new manager at the helm? And the Paralympics is creating a lot of buzz. There are so many exciting talents on show who have struggled through life to make it so far. Today we tell you the story of a farmer's daughter, Preethi Pal, who created history. But first, a look at the headlines. Starting with news from Formula One, Ferrari's Charles Leclerc won the Italian Grand Prix using a bold move, one-stop strategy. Most drivers made 2 pit stops, but Ferrari risked a one-stop strategy for Leclerc and Carlos Sainz. McLaren duo Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris both bagged podium finishes after him. Red Bull's Max Verstappen finished 6th. This is the 6th time that he has failed to make it to the podium this season. Mercedes have signed rookie Kimi Antonelli to replace Lewis Hamilton in 2025 when he makes the move to Ferrari. Antonelli made a stunning debut with his first practice session at the Italian Grand Prix. The day he turned 18, after a stellar junior career, Antonelli will partner with George Russell from the 2025 season. Over in cricket, England beat Sri Lanka in the second test by 190 runs. Sri Lanka were chasing a staggering 483 to win on day 4. England's Gus Atkinson starred with the ball by taking a fifer. Sri Lanka were eventually dismissed for 292. Joe Root was one of the highlights with the bat as he earlier made his 34th 100, becoming England's leading century maker and contributing to their team's 2-0 series win over Sri Lanka. With Jay Shah moving on to take over the role of ICC chief, Pakistan Cricket Board Chairman Mohsin Naqvi is expected to replace Jay Shah as President of the Asian Cricket Council or the ACC, a big move here. Naqvi will assume the role after the ACC meeting scheduled for October and November. And in tennis, defending champion Coco Gauff crashed out of the US Open. The American suffered a shock loss at the hands of her compatriot Emma Navarro. She made as many as 19 double falls as Gauff lost the 4th round match 6-3, 4-6, 6-3. And to wrap up with news from the Paralympics, badminton player Nitish Kumar bagged 2nd gold for India at the Paris event. Nitish clinched gold in the men's singles category after defeating Daniel Bethel 21-14, 18-21, 23-21. A tough fight there. With Nitish's gold, India has so far won 9 medals that include 2 golds, 3 silvers and 4 bronze. Kylian Mbappe's arrival at Real Madrid came with a lot of promise and a world of expectations. But given the hype, Mbappe had an average start to his Real Madrid career. Well, after the Super Cup win on his debut, the Real Madrid forward found it difficult adjusting to the Spanish league. 3 matches, no goals, narrow misses. The critics were out with their sharp pens and tongues. But Real Madrid's match against Real Betis yesterday put an end to all of that. Mbappe was back to his usual settings, scoring goals, leading the attack and just mesmerizing the crowd gathered there with his football and his brand of football. The Frenchman scored a brace during Madrid's 2-0 victory and looks like the old Mbappe is truly back. But the victory was more than just about Mbappe. It was teamwork like none other. No, I'm not talking about the link-up between midfield and forward line, nor about the flawless passing there. All of it was there, of course, to see, but it was more than just that. The whole pack of stars were all rallying around Mbappe. They made it all about him. Now, talks before Mbappe walked onto the pitch there with Real Madrid was all about too many superstars in one locker room. How will the egos meld together? Will they clash, or will they somehow learn to coexist? Because Mbappe was walking into an already established territory that had star players like Vinicius, Jude Bellingham, Rodrigo. They were all already there. Mbappe was walking into a team full of European and Spanish champions. So Mbappe joining this bunch was bound to rattle the team dynamics, or so everyone thought. But the Real Betis match brushed aside any of those talks and showed a picture so glorious. Two star powers, Jude Bellingham and Vinicius, proved they were not competing with Mbappe but were his biggest fans. Mbappe scored his first goal in the 67th minute, and although Bellingham wasn't on the field due to a muscle injury he had sustained earlier, Bellingham was up on his feet in the stands applauding for Mbappe and Real Madrid. Now, it wasn't just Bellingham who was backing Mbappe. Just 8 minutes after Mbappe's first La Liga goal, Real Madrid earned another opportunity in the form of a penalty. An opportunity earned by Vinicius Jr. And given how Vinicius has usually taken up penalty duties in the past, it was expected that he would take this one too. But the Brazilian knew how much Mbappe needed the goals, needed the momentum. So without thinking twice, he asked Mbappe to take the penalty kick, and it didn't end there. When Mbappe scored, Vinicius bounded over to Mbappe, ecstatic like he himself had scored the goal. And right after that, Vinicius was seen pumping the Real Madrid supporters to cheer for Mbappe. Yes, Mbappe was Paris Saint-Germain's penalty taker during his stint with PSG, but at Real Madrid, he isn't the first choice, something Real Madrid manager Carlo Ancelotti himself had clarified before the match.
It is right to give the responsibility to both Mbappe and Vinicius, so I prefer that they decide because I have a lot of confidence in them. It will depend on how they are in the match and what each one needs.
So the gesture by Vinicius holds much more significance. It was his call to give it to Mbappe, and what a gesture that was. In the past, we've seen Chelsea's Noni Madueke and Nicholas Jackson fighting for the spot kick. Mbappe himself was involved in such a disagreement with Neymar during PSG's game against Montpellier in 2022. And of course, the famous one between Cristiano Ronaldo and Xabi Alonso in 2010 during Real Madrid's clash against Villarreal. Something similar could have repeated here too between Mbappe and Vinicius. Vinicius could have easily taken that penalty because after Mbappe's arrival, Vinicius' role in the team is not to score goals, rather create chances, those opportunities for Mbappe to deliver. So a penalty kick would have been just the perfect opportunity for Vinicius to add goals against his name. But the Brazilian showed how mature he is, what it means for him to make it work with Mbappe and for Mbappe to work in Real Madrid. And that created quite the buzz. By handing it over to Mbappe, it helped in getting Mbappe back into sync. A gesture no one would understand better than Vinicius himself, someone who's suffered racism all through his tenure in Spain, was questioned by Karim Benzema during his initial days at Real Madrid, so much so that Benzema didn't even pass the ball to Vinicius during a Real Madrid game in 2020. So given his past, Vinicius knows how much a newcomer needs that backing from his teammates, even a player of the caliber and stature of Mbappe. So that move would have surely given Mbappe a lot of confidence, and with Mbappe firing all cylinders and more importantly, his star teammates rallying hard around him, Real Madrid are bound to look more threatening as the season progresses. And we can expect more such instances of team spirit from the lineup. To sum it up, we are up to witness another deadly Real Madrid team take center stage this season. Now, it's a new era at Liverpool. Meanwhile, Jurgen Klopp has given way to Arne Slot. A new manager brings new changes. That is what one would expect. And all eyes have been on Slot to see how the Reds would fare this season. And the game against Manchester United was a crucial one in that regard. The age-old Fears Northwest derby, a challenge for any manager. So the stakes were clearly high. But just like the Klopp era, Liverpool dominated United once again with a 3-0 victory. Luis Diaz's brace put Liverpool in front, and the seasoned campaigner, Mohamed Salah, wrapped things up with another goal. But more than Liverpool beating Manchester United, the biggest concern, of course, and the talking point coming out of that game was Salah's contract. The talismanic player's contract is set to expire at the end of this year, and there are speculations that he may move abroad next season. The Egyptian himself broke his silence on the subject.
To be fair, I was coming to the game as if it could be the last time playing at Old Trafford. Nobody in the club has talked to me about contracts. I just want to enjoy it. I don't want to think about it. I feel I'm free to play football, and let's see what's going to happen next year.
Looks like he wants to stay at Liverpool, but no one else seems to want that, at least powers that be, because he says no one has talked to him about his contract just yet. Even though rightfully he belongs here, Liverpool is one of the most decorated clubs in Premier League. They've been title contenders for the past 8 years, and Salah himself is a key player for the Reds. Anfield supporters love him. Salah has 158 goals to his name in 253 appearances. If there is anywhere the 32-year-old has to be, it's got to be in Anfield. And especially when he's terrorized the opponent that Liverpool put away last night. Since 2021, Salah has scored 10 goals at Old Trafford. He's fifth on a list that just has United players apart from him. United players get to play 19 matches a season at Old Trafford in Premier League. Salah, on the other hand, gets to do it once in Premier League, in domestic cup matches, if there is a fixture. So that tells you the potential of Salah, just how dominant he's been against United, one of the biggest reasons Anfield supporters adore him. Plus, he's a clutch player who performs in key matches under pressure for Liverpool. Someone who has done it time and again. So why the delay in renewing the contract? Salah isn't the only player who finds himself in this situation. Virgil van Dijk and Trent Alexander-Arnold's contracts too are set to expire next summer. And while Salah has openly spoken about the non-communication from the club in this regard, when it comes to his contract, Van Dijk and Arnold have remained tight-lipped. And that is why Salah's situation is all the more concerning. Liverpool is delaying the contract extension, that's clear. So what could be a reason for this? With every new manager's arrival, the thought process at any club changes. There is a new vision that comes into play. We're witnessing that over at Chelsea, for example. Raheem Sterling, who was a key player for Mauricio Pochettino, seems to be out of favour for new manager Enzo Maresca. Cristiano Ronaldo, who was a key asset for Solskjaer, had a huge fallout with current Man United manager Erik ten Hag. Maybe the same is happening over at Liverpool. Salah was indispensable under Jurgen Klopp. Maybe under Arne Slot, the Egyptian doesn't fit into the scheme of things. Or maybe Slot is taking his time to assess Salah's performance and where he exactly fits. Whatever the reason, it never bodes well for any player to play under pressure, to play without the faith that he truly belongs there. Any uncertainty of any kind doesn't build a good environment for the rest too. If Liverpool and Slot do not reach a decision soon, the 32-year-old may well start looking out for a new home, and an exit of his stature will hit Anfield hard. If Avni Lakhara fired the first shot by clinching India's first gold at the Paralympics, the weekend clearly belonged to another gritty athlete who's creating waves for not winning just one, but 2 medals. Preethi Pal won bronze in the 100-meter race. That itself was a historic achievement, because India had not won a medal in any track event till then. And then she decides to go one better, and on Sunday doubled it by winning bronze in the 200-meter race. And why is this achievement something we need to recognize and talk about? One, she's the first female Indian track and field athlete to win 2 medals in a single Paralympics. Preethi Pal has etched a historic first for India. 2, India and track events had never had a face when it came to Paralympics. Nothing to emulate, no real path to follow. The first medal in a track event since 1984, which is where we need to delve into Preethi Pal's backstory. She's the daughter of a farmer in Muzaffarnagar, and from the moment she was born to this point here, Preethi has only encountered hurdles and challenges, roadblocks to even living a pain-free life. So imagine winning medals despite all of this. Her lower body had to be plastered just 6 days after she was born. She was born with weak lower body. Weak legs meant she got exposed to various diseases all along the way. She also had an irregular leg posture. She underwent several treatments because of this condition. At the age of 5, she started wearing calipers and wore them for 8 years. And this is where reason number 3 comes in. Because any condition such as this, a physical disability, can defeat you, make you feel that there is a limit to achieving things. So that's why her reason to do this, to take this up in the first place, is crucial in giving India its first female track hero. It was another woman, and not just any lady. This one was also a para-athlete. Not a runner, but a track and field athlete nevertheless. Fatima Khatun, who inspired and helped Preethi. Watching the Paralympics and seeing athletes who are far from perfect winning glory motivated Preethi to do the same. And that's when Fatima Khatun came in, guided and mentored Preethi. Facilities were limited, but Preethi's dreams weren't. She had to move to Delhi, the Indian capital, to sharpen her skills further. In 2018, she started competing in state-level meets, then national-level competitions. She qualified for 2022 Asian Para Games and came a heartbreaking 4th in both the 100 meters and 200 meter races. She only wanted to keep improving, and in the works, Para-Athletic Championship, of course, came along. And at the Para-Athletic World Championship earlier this year, she finished 3rd in both races, giving her confidence that she could do the same at the Paralympics.
Before I came to Paris, I hoped to get a medal in the Worlds. I got the bronze, so I thought I could do it at these Paralympics too.
The 23-year-old is an inspiration to anyone. Her fight and her struggles tell you that impossible is nothing. And when you can turn your disadvantage to your biggest advantage, then only sky is the limit. Preethi dreamt big, and she was able to come close to it. There is still more to do, and of course a long way to go. Time for Last Serve. Bolivia hosted the paragliding pre-World Cup for the very first time. This is, of course, a way to qualify for the World Cup later. The visuals are stunning as male and female paragliders took to the skies. That wraps up Firstpost here today. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Till then, take care.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree for humanity, one tree for Mother Earth, one tree for our future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
Across continents, one powerful news source.
Bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment. So thank you for making Firstpost 5 million strong. We're counting on your support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished. On the show today, the T20 World Cup bandwagon has moved across to the West Indies. What can you expect from this?
Hello, I'm Alice Green, coming to you from Durban, South Africa. Today we have a special show.
We start with a report on India's shifting nuclear posture. For the first time since India officially became a nuclear power.
Hello and welcome to Firstpost America. I'm Aaron Ham, coming to you live from the nation's capital in Washington, D.C.